Pretty sure the tea bag broke. That kind of sucks. 2024 is just around the corner. And are we living in a society that is more insecure than ever before? I hope not, but I'll make a quick stream, basically to raise awareness about what a cypherpunk is, in my opinion, because like I said, I think I was the problem back in 2017 because I discovered crypto and it was not for the cypherpunk movement in an unfortunate manner. Because I discovered it because I thought I could make money. Because I was engaging in forex trading, engaging in penny stocks, engaging in all sorts of shit, basically gambling as well, betting on certain sporting events, trying to make a quick buck. And then I came across, heard about cryptocurrency. Long story short, I'm still here, only just, and that's only thank you to Richard Hart and Hex and now PulseChain and PulseX and INC, etc., etc. Now I'll play this through in regards to my security concerns, which continue to grow and grow and grow. And again, I'm not an expert in any of this. This is just some general thoughts. Maybe I'm thinking too much on New Year's Eve. But yeah, let's go.
Hacking happens all the time. The thing that concerns me is not so much the fact that the information was available. All of this information you can buy from Google. What concerns me is how did they get this information? My phone number, my address, my age, my marital status, my preferences. Once you get the information into a database, it will be hacked and something we should be concerned about. But far more concerning to me is how did it happen?
And so this is why I think it's important to point out what a cypherpunk is. It explains in this particular article what it is. There is a manifesto I came across, but there are some, cypherpunks, some notable ones. It's worth looking at, I guess, who they are and what they do, what they represent, and their actions. Actions speak louder than words. Before I do that, going back to that particular statement, I guess now, what rest in peace McAfee said about, how do they get the information? Because if you give up your information, the assumption is someone else has it. If I ever enter my details into any database anywhere, the assumption is it's gone. That's the whole point of air gapping and never having to enter in your seeds into, the internet or any sort of database. I've never heard of anyone being able to reverse engineer an address back to, the seed phrase yet, without a great deal of effort, because that I could imagine it would take to complete. But with the, emerging technologies, maybe one day we'll figure out how impossible or possible that is. But going back to the point where, if you stop, this is pulling from X, which is a huge database of all your thoughts aggregated. Think about it. PulseChain is safer than Ether scans because there's no ads. Stop users from getting scammed by evil advertisements. Block explorers and sites that show prices are much safer when not fire hosting scam ads down users' throats, fake wallets, dApps that drain all your coins, rug pulls, etc. So many times, I did see how many people did see ads that were basically click on this and get scammed. But for the longest time, you already knew this because if you'd been around the internet a little bit, you learned that you don't click on the ad. You learned that every time you click on the ad, bad things happen. You learned that, well, I learned how to break a computer really good, and especially how to break it on the internet really good. I think it was in the time of message boards, and like you would freshen the thing would regenerate the web page as a way of communicating. What else? Yeah, don't click the ads. But for some reason, people new to cryptocurrency, maybe they haven't got the same experience as they do with learning about how to navigate the internet. For some reason, like I said, I like to think I can navigate the internet a little bit better than, say, my parents can. they get stuck very easily, whereas I'm able to pull a lot more easily more relevant information if I'm seeking it. That's just because of the practice. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Now, don't let them give you their email, phone, address, or identifying info. No contact us forms. You can't lose or get hacked for data you don't have. Okay, so I'll go back to here. There is some other relevant points there, but again, I'm assuming people know this.
It happened because companies like Google and Facebook acquired data on every one of us, what blogs we are visiting, even our messages that we pass on Facebook, our instant messages on Twitter are accessible. And these things are collected so that we have no privacy. Every router that's in use, accessible to hackers, to the CIA, that they can take over the control
This
of the router.
concerns
They
me.
can monitor all of the traffic, and worse, they can download malware into any device that is connected to that router. So I personally never connect to any Wi-Fi system. Every router in America has been compromised. We have all known this, and we've been warning about it for years. Nobody pays attention until something like WikiLeaks comes up and says, look, this is what's happening. Then the world goes, oh, but we've been saying it for years.
So this leads into the next part. Who are the cypherpunks? What is a cypherpunk? I'm not going to go over it because I'm unable to do it justice. But according to this article, Timothy C. May, Julian Assange, Phil Zimmerman, Wei Dai, computer engineer, Chinese American, and Nick Szabo, also a computer scientist from the US, explains as some individuals who, may make up a part of the quote unquote cypherpunk. Again, I'm not an expert in this field, but I watch and analyze and can see trends develop. And right underneath my nose, these guys have been doing amazing work and I've been following. So I need to maybe follow a little bit closer. Who is, Nick Szabo? We have here, it explains some information about them. So maybe we go out, maybe we follow, see what they're doing. We have here cryptoanarchy.wiki, inventor of B-Money, very important Bitcoin predecessor. This is his main contribution to the movement. The thing he's most known for, according to this website, again, I haven't verified any of this. Philip Zimmerman, creator of PGP, creator of Pretty Good Privacy, an email encryption software package. It goes on. This here, I'm pretty sure people are familiar with Julian Assange and what he's been subject to, and maybe a little bit about what he is about. I did not know this, but he was actually, according to this article, a part of the cypherpunk movement, Now, that's also Timothy C., better known as Tim May, political writer, electronic engineer, and senior scientist at Intel. Was also founder of crypto anarchist movement. He retired from Intel in 1986 at age 35. Oh, rest in peace. So there is some rabbit holes you may wish to go down and have a look into, if you so choose. But if we could pull back to here, I'll finish this off. I'll cover a couple of things and I'll celebrate New Year's.
In terms of the impact on American privacy, our individual privacy, because once the router is compromised and it infects the cell phones that are attached, your laptop, your desktop computer, your tablet, then they become compromised. And not only can you watch the data, you can start listening to conversations. You can start watching through the cameras on these devices. If you actually go to Starbucks and get on the free Wi-Fi, you're being very foolish, because not only is the router compromised at Starbucks, but there are people in Starbucks that have devices pretending to be Wi-Fi. And you're connecting to them sometimes. And they're monitoring all of your traffic, reading your emails, listen, and your text messages. I use the LTE on my phone. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the only way that I can be secure.
Kimmy next door's doing it better than she.
Okay.
I am a specialist in cybersecurity. My phone was hacked through my carrier, AT&T. And what happened, this is brand new to me. They managed to hack into AT&T to move
It's like
my phone
next level
to
shit.
another phone. When they hacked, my phone was totally disabled. You couldn't call into it. I could not call out from it. So everything coming in, including my text messages, went to another phone number. So what they had done is they tried to log on to Twitter, said I've lost my password. I used two-factor authentication, meaning I have to give Twitter my phone number. They sent to my phone number a special code so that I could get in, but it wasn't me, it was the hacker. This is something totally out of my control, totally out of everyone's control. Hackers are becoming more and more proficient and more sophisticated in their hacking techniques. If this can happen to me, I promise you, it can happen to anyone. It's not just all the apps we use, it's not just Twitter, a recommendation. For the new alternative coins, alternative to Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies. People would invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these coins. What the hacker did was he recommended 6 different coins within 6 minutes and invested, I'm sure, much money beforehand into those coins. As the coins rose, the hacker sold his money. He may have made tens of millions of dollars. If they can do it for me, again, they can do it for anyone. We're living in a new world of hacking and a new world of risks for all of us using.
Well, yes, this is the security concerns. Not to create fear. We are all aware of these particular events. And like I said, I was kind of the problem back in 2017. Instead of focusing on security, I'm just like, who cares? Connect this wallet to here, connect this wallet to here, create this. Who cares? It doesn't matter if my, computer was compromised and had keylogging software. Although I had come across some websites and information that made me more inclined to think that that was possible, similar to the way that the Twitter files were released and there was mad conspiracies about what could have been taking place during a certain time period, and how anything you heard about a Twitter conspiracy, most likely, quote unquote, Elon Musk himself, was probably true, if not worse. Again, that's the crazy loon bird in me coming out and being correct again. Not myself directly, but my, self-vindicating mind sought out information, and lo and behold, I was able to find it again. Which is funny because, like I said, still don't know to this day how I came across Hex, except for seeing a YouTube video. It's like, okay, was that like injected in, or was it just some other people who liked that? It was an anomaly, I will say the least. But security is important because scams have become a lot more common. Now, the level of sophistication of the scam in this level, I would say, is like a 10. Simply clicking on an ad posted, is probably like a 1 sophistication, or being socially engineered or engaging with people who are not the real who they claim to be on the internet. You must be careful of these sorts of things. Now, the assumption is, we all know this, but even myself, every now and then I get confused. I'm like, oh, what's this link? And click it and boom, done. Yeah, they got you. Now, maybe people will listen to the warnings, but usually it takes an event for it to really trigger someone. So if you've ever lost your cryptocurrency, maybe you become more security cautious. If you've ever been severely injured doing a particular event, maybe you learn how to avoid that in the future. I guess a loss of crypto leads to a better understanding. A loss of freedoms maybe leads to better policy. Now, we've covered cypherpunks. We've covered some individuals. You may want to look up some of their work. You may want to look up what they're currently going through. Maybe you want to support their cause. I don't know. Maybe you just want to sort of amplify the message and create your own content and spread the message far and wide, your own version of it, because maybe, just maybe, you will be the person who makes a change for the better in this planet. Maybe you will be the person who creates the the event that triggers another event, somewhere else that allows for a type 1, type 2, and type 3 civilization in the future, because no one's going to change the world except us. That being said, I'm not a builder. Wish I was. I'm not an architect, but they are also part of the part of the puzzle. Now, this is what's kind of frustrating, because people said the censorship, was all in our minds. It didn't actually exist. But we have Pulse Chain, an L1, a new L1, but for some reason, people don't really care that Solana was always down, as another L1, a newish L1 relative to Ethereum. But it's now being, covered by the crypto media, I guess you'd call it. And it's saying that it's been flooded with thousands of new tokens as traders hunt for that next, 1000x. It's frustrating because I see the same sort of stuff going on, taking place on Pulse Chain L1, but there's no coverage except for ourselves covering it. Now, if I go to, I did have a tab up here, but you type in Solana news, you pull this up, right? Very recent. You type in Pulse Chain news, and the only thing news-wise you're pulling up, other than influencers that are already within our ecosystem, which is fine, but there's no external coverage of this. It's very interesting, to say the least. Call me conspiracy theorist, call me someone who analyzes data and points out trends. I don't know. What do you guys call it, Now, moving on from that, we do have this as well. Like, what is a cypherpunk? And it goes on to explain some things. Basically, that there's a difference between a cyberpunk and a cypherpunk. That's why I use the same font in the particular thumbnail. But it says here, one of the things that that was drawn to me, because I don't claim to be a cypherpunk, although I do aspire to, be able to reach the levels of some other people in the field. But in reaction to worries about governmental snooping, censorship, and limitations on free speech, now the cyberpunk movement was born. Cypherpunk. I even said it wrong now. But that's, I guess, the area that I stumbled into, noticing that sometimes there might be governmental snooping beyond reasonable reach, or it just seems outright creepy, like Big Brother is watching, eat the bug sort of stuff. Censorship, like actual real censorship taking place, and I just thought, maybe it's just some people don't want to see certain content, but then I actually saw it real time, channels being just chopped up and binned, never to be seen of again. We saw it across multiple platforms, and then we saw even it started to push the realms of crypto to an extent. You can't add here, can't add there, but they've sort of eased back a little bit. However, all it takes is maybe the wrong person in power in a particular country and decides to chop off the head of crypto. I don't know how they'll do that, but then all of a sudden, all of crypto banned, all of crypto, all ads banned, all content on YouTube banned. What happens then, Backup channels, different channels in place. I hope everyone's got them. I don't think that's coming, because that would be more, like a communist style China, communist Russia, North Korean type of move. However, the way things are going, it's getting very creepy out there. We're seeing limitations on free speech, especially in relation to certain topics that are still basically taboo, and some people are still living in the past, I think, myself included, so as to what you can and can't say, because I know on some particular platforms, you say the wrong word. Some people like to say it's the Matrix. Some people like to say Big Brother. I don't know what it is, man. It's something out there that's just, I would call it evil almost, basically trying to suppress us all. Now, that is why it's so important. I think it is so important to express our thoughts openly, and if people disagree with it, they come to the plate, they come to the argument with a stronger, more logical, factual response, and then you can change and update my worldview, because I've had my worldview updated several times, and when that does happen, it's character building, I would say the least. Now, it's interesting because around this time we are seeing this here. in relation to Congress extends governmental controversial government spy program for 2024. So while we're all worried about the election, the economy, what we think when the pivot's going to take place, when the pause is going to take place, how your favorite cryptocurrency is doing, how your favorite meme token's doing, you know, all of that stuff. Civil liberty advocates fear continued threats to citizen privacy, which is concerning because especially if you're not doing anything wrong. I watch from afar because I'm not in the US, but when I see this stuff, I can't help but point it out, you know, and say, what the fuck is going on? I think I'm not the only one, but I also think people are just tired. They're busy. They're trying to look after their children. They're trying to look after their family. They're trying to make ends meet. Who's got time to get involved in politics, right? I think that's a fair statement, you know, not until you're mad rich, until you got the wife changing wealth, lol, that you can really maybe worry about this sort of stuff. But by then, I think that's the plan, and only a select few are in that position now to be able to, you know, really make change. You just love the ads. You can tell I've been looking at some car stuff. Oh, should I install some more fans, or should I actually recharge my aircon? It's a funny story, so anyway, another time. But like I said, on the more serious note, this is actually going on in the background. Now, if that's taking place on myself, I mean, I never voted on that. And why would it take place on me? I'm in Australia. Or maybe for some reason they deem you talking on Twitter, for example, to someone based in the US, maybe, you know, they want to watch and monitor what's going on. It's for your own safety, you know, trying to make sure that, you know, bad things aren't taking place. It's like, hang on. I don't know if that still sounds right. It's like, what else could they do? You go in and have a look, maybe. Yeah. Like I said, it gets creepy out there. Now, I lost my way a bit there, but I think you can see I'm trying to tie in, basically, you don't give up your information unless you just don't give up your information unless you actively know what you're doing. Most people don't, myself included, but I like to think that, you know, I kind of understand how things may work. I understand the risks because I think that, I think everyone's been compromised to an extent. Everyone's information is most likely out there somewhere, knowingly or unknowingly. It's in some database somewhere, whether it's your bank, whether it's who you keep your house with. I mean, unless you've been set up from inception to never know who your actual identity is, how are you really gonna, you know, stay out of the prying eye of whatever it is that's watching us? Possibly a big giant AI system is in place now, looking for keywords. So, a part of that, the cypherpunk movement was born. It's been co-opted somewhat by, you know, large investors, hedge funds, banks, and the like, the usual players, big oil, maybe, I don't know, the people who maybe back that sort of stuff, but maybe are going to be coming into crypto soon. It's going to pump all of our bags, which is cool, but is it really going to be a push for the cypherpunk movement or more of the same old military-industrial complex-esque sort of stuff? I think it's going to be the latter, personally, because we see things like Solana, who, not to shit on their devs or however they were evolved, but did not come across Solana thinking, you know, this is going to be a freedom movement. And I'm seeing a similar thing take place on that chain where, you know, individuals are looking for, you know, new tokens, looking for lots of gains. The same thing taking place on Pulse chain, and radio silence. Absolutely radio silence, you know. It just makes you wonder, like, why is big media. And the only thing that's been covered by these larger Happy New Year's to you, man. Exxon. The only thing being covered is that I guess the legalese aspect of the potential outcomes of cases from 3-letter agencies regarding Hex, I guess, PulseChain and PulseX. I'm not even sure if they're actually directly cited. You'd have to, read that from a legal point of view to fully comprehend what is taking place. But it just makes you wonder, where were these articles before that pointing out that this new L1 has come out and there was some clogging on the bridge, but then once it got up and running, there was really cheap fees. It was a fork of the entire state of Ethereum, and now people are building, XYZ on it, and people are building XYZ, and you want to have to check this out. There was no coverage. It's absolutely insane. It's almost frustrating. Like I said, with the listing on certain, not CoinGecko, there's another one, CoinMarketCap from memory. They occasionally their manual code breaks and it's all of a sudden Hex appears, on the top, back on the first page occasionally, but hasn't happened in a while. But if then you use the same feeds, go to Yahoo Finance, look where Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX is, but now they're probably having some difficulties because there's a whole new generation of tokens. There's the PRC20s, and maybe they're getting confused with the eHex and Hex, but it's probably a good idea to maybe check things like crypto bubbles now, because I like that aspect of it. Not that it's a bubble, but it shows you what's inflating and not what's not inflating, and when it's doing it, it's probably more relevant because past performance doesn't indicate future performance by any means. Now, we then recently had this here a few days ago, make Ethereum cypherpunk again. Now, like I said, back in 2017, I think I was like the actual problem, because I came in just thinking money, no idea about not much of an idea about certain aspects which later on became appealing to myself. What was very interesting, quite often people were pro certain tokens like Bitcoin. Only very few will point out their flaws, and sometimes when people point out others' flaws, it's worth listening to them because they have a opinion that's different to yours, and then you're able to update your worldview. Because I always thought, for the longest time, Bitcoin was the gold standard, of cryptocurrency, like literally, and I thought Litecoin was like the silver because it's quicker. That was my level of cryptocurrency knowledge. Then I came across Hex founder, who explained in some very good streams his point of view, and I went and looked it up and gone, holy shit, this dude's right. Who is this dude? Why haven't I heard about him before? And here I am, 5 years later, pushing 5 years later. Now, I won't go through this, but I do think maybe he's coming to the realization that, well, I like this here. It takes a sewer to make a Ninja Turtle. It's like, if you've seen that video, it takes to make a cupcake, it takes, you need to be able to create an entire universe because all the atoms made up of it. So that sort of resonated with me. But yeah, we can see here some problem solutions. But again, I haven't actually read this, so I can't even speak on it because I will be reading it going, oh no shit, as I'm going along. So maybe I'll let you do that at your leisure. Now that is about it. Here is the PulseChain news. You type in PulseChain news and you're being flooded with X content, which is great because, like I said, I think we as Pulsekins, PulseXicans, and Hexicans, are literally the megaphone, and we're trying to tell and reach other people and tell them about the stuff that we have going on here. But yet, the only people that you will hear about us from, in terms of, let's have a look. Will I be proven wrong? Other than Wall Street Journal, we did see one article come out, which is pretty good. See, this is what we come across. This is what, and it's August the 3rd, right? But we see this here. Solana's being flooded with thousands of new tokens and NFTs and meme coins and stuff that is performing okay, performing pretty good. We heard about some people turning X amount into other amounts, but doesn't explain liquidity, doesn't explain how they're ever going to exit the system. But that's what's on mainstream. But then you go to Pulse Chain News, and the top article says why I don't feel bad for Hex founder victims. What victims? What? Frustrating, yeah. Frustrating. But yeah, so maybe, you know, it's people don't want you to hear about. I can't say cypherpunks because, like I said, I don't claim to be a cypherpunk. I don't know enough. I don't think they would accept me as a cypherpunk, like literally. But I think that the cypherpunks would appreciate my thoughts on censorship, governmental snooping, and free speech. I do think they would appreciate that, and I do think that I agree with their approach as well. So we could probably find some common grounds there. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost as if, how do I say it? Hex is designed to counteract some of the issues that the cypherpunks pointed out, and it continues to do so by being immutable, by being a safe in a safe, and now also having its own L1. It's running on its own L1, which is a fork of the Ethereum, which the Ethereum founder comes out and says, let's make Ethereum cypherpunk again. So therefore, what do you think L1s, who are a direct copy fork of the entire state, are? Also, you know, it's relatively straightforward if you view it from that aspect, you know, from that lens of the cypherpunks for, you know, freedom of speech, you know, freedom of privacy, freedom of, you know, anti-censorship sort of stuff, you know. And I don't know why they seem to be cracking down on the ability of use of VPNs for some reason. If you go onto a lot of sites lately, they're just getting a bit weird with VPNs. I don't know if it's either going to get to the point where they understand that this technology is for one's own safety. It's not to commit crimes, it's for one's own safety. It's simple as that. Because if you go back to here, I'll play this out through and then I'll close this one out, and Happy New Year time. But
the internet. If your carrier is the one who's being hacked, I don't care how foolproof your smartphone is. It's not going to work.
If your VPN gets hacked,
smartphone would not help in this case. It wouldn't do anything. If your carrier, if someone has intercepted the signal to your phone and they shunt it to some other phone, there's nothing that my phone can do. My phone can help you from applications that get on your phone, but no, it could not have prevented this. I mean, that's nonsense. What happened to me is not a threat, but there's a great threat to all miners. There's a great threat to all people who.
I'll get to the chat in a second.
Most people
Spirit Hex 1
on their own wallet. They use wallets on the exchange.
Doge on Pulse Chain.
If I were a hacker trying to hack into wallets and get money, I wouldn't search around the world for individuals. That
listen to this though before we go there.
The exchanges have billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. So yes, they're all at risk. Everybody says, no, we are secure.
Now, where did we hear this before? Not your keys, not your coins. Was, I'm pretty sure, almost coined by the founder of Hex. And all the Hexicans then adopted it. And now it's been copied and cloned. And now you hear, it's funny when you hear exchanges spew that particular quote. It's like, hang on, where did that come from? I know where that came from. Some people may not know, but I think I know where that came from.
Nonsense. Beginning with Mt. Gox a couple of years ago, where hundreds of millions of dollars were lost. This will continue to happen until people, the owners of the exchanges, understand that the world they are in is far more sophisticated in terms of hacking than they believe. And I promise you, every exchange will at some point in the near future get hacked. And if you have your wallet on those exchanges, you will lose your money because they do not have the resources to reimburse you.
But yeah, that's been said before, you know. That was literally, you know, it was worth watching. It was worth watching. Now, I'll close out. I'll have a look at chat briefly. I'm a bit concerned what I'm seeing in chat. Although I shouldn't be, because oh well, I lost all the comments, so that fixes that. Oh no, there it is. Alright. Thoughts? I feel like I'm reading a line here. Thoughts on Doge on Pulse Chain. Binance Peg Dogecoin can be bridged from BSC to Pulse Chain, pegged by Binance on a 1-to-1 ratio to the corresponding native token, supports BEP20 token deposits withdrawals at Binance. So my understanding on that is as follows. It appears I don't even know, man. Hang on. I know Doge is a joke. To like literal infinite mint of Litecoin. I just need to double check. It runs on, doesn't it run on, yeah. Doesn't it run on is Doge? How is it 1-for-1 though? Well, many. Hang on. So what? Well, many meme tokens exist on Ethereum. Doge runs on Litecoin chain. There's no relation to Ethereum ecosystem. So, is it actual Doge, or is it a meme coin that cosplays as Doge? See, this should be like on the Decrypt. They should be saying, right, did you know that there is a fucking copy of Doge and it has some liquidity and it's being traded on Binance and it's being traded on Ethereum and there's someone's wrapped it and created it on Ethereum as well. That's right, and Pulse Chain. Did you know this shit's happening and you could get 1000x, you know? But instead we're getting ghosted hard. I don't know why. It's frustrating. So Spirit Hex 1, just continue on and contact Decrypt and let them know, man, because honestly, be like, did you know this is happening on Pulse Chain? Like, why are you covering Bonk token on Solana that used to be always down and just pumped out of nowhere? And everyone's like, oh, I don't know if we should invest more now. Ooh. That's so good, man. I need to see that, Addy. I need to see that. Send it to Decrypt. Like, Decrypt, what do you think of XYZ, you know? I just don't understand the ghosting of you know, like I'm pretty sure if you're looking at meme coins on Pulse Chain and they're also, you know, appearing on Binance Chain, it's interesting because I don't know if you can bridge across there. That's interesting. I will talk about what do you think then about the 1-to-1 ratio? Do you think it's possible for a chain to exist and have a copied fork state of its token, and do you think it's possible for them to hold the same value? That's a question for you. If you can answer me that, I would like to know the answer to that, because yeah, I would love to see that happen. Hex, I can see it happening, but only because, you know, the Hex community would probably back it on any chain that it appears to an extent, and I think that the liquidity would be there. And I think I'm not so sure there would be an arbitrage opportunity, because if you're using it for be outside of ratio trading, but if you're using it for staking, maybe you're chasing the T shares. I just can't see how, for instance, say a meme coin appears on Binance, it has the same ratio, whatever, on Binance chain, and it's say 10 cents, and then it's deployed on, or it's the same contract on Pulse chain, for example, but for some reason it's 1 cent over there. Ideally, I can see how it could be pegged. I'd just really like to know, how would that come to exist to be? Would it just be everyone? Would it be everyone appreciates and thinks that what they hold on this chain and this chain is of equal value? Therefore, there is an arbitrage opportunity between the two, and also because they're then being, the LPs being provided by both sides. And does it need to be on both sides? Like, does the LP? I initially thought maybe there would be LP on Ethereum chain of hex on Ethereum, and then also liquidity of hex on Pulse chain, and that would bring about the LP, could reduce the arbitrage and bring into equilibrium the prices across both chains. However, I haven't seen that yet. We're seeing Pulse chain worth about 2 to 1 so far. Yeah, I heard that argument. I've heard that too. Like, if it's lower liquidity, like 10 to 1 ratio, it has a higher ability to push it up. But what if it doesn't? Like, what if one side pumps and then the other side doesn't pump? So, say for instance, just to making sure I'm actually understanding. So, if two have LP, one has 100k LP liquidity, and then one side increases 10x, it will help pump. I can't see that. LP. Just trying to chew that one through. Yeah, I don't know enough. I can't really comment on that. It sounds good, but without, maybe do it on testnet and see if it works. Because I don't know how you do it. You need to pump the shit out of something, and it'll be hard because you need a testnet by a different chain to parallel it. Yeah, I guess it's a valid point though. When Doge, you have two tokens, 100k liquidity. One of them moons 10x. Does that LP then turn to 1 million? But then, doesn't it come back to the LP holder? Because isn't it I'm assuming you're talking about V2 here. Because doesn't V3 have single-sided LP? What you're saying. I've always wondered, how could... I don't know enough, man. I wish I did. Like I said, I wish I saw the numbers to it. Basically, if it does work and someone does it, it'll be easier to see how it happened, and then potentially, in a scientific experiment, it could be done again. Because couldn't then, I guess that's what we're waiting for then, potentially, if, for instance, say Hex goes up by 10x, the LP pools are worth more, it pumps everything, including the Hedron Zycosis, everything just gets increased. It only works if that one moons though. So Hmm. Have you tried this and has it been working? If so, continue on. Because by the sounds of it, if that was the case, the only negative factor on that calculation would be the 100k liquidity needs to be injected in, and someone would need to take on that risk, because if it doesn't work, then they're stuck with something that's maybe not worth that much. Because someone could there's a rug risk, obviously, but someone else could enter into the system and dump, and the slippage could eat into it as well, potentially. I'm not sure how it would work, because if the 100k liquidity increases to 1 million and the LP is then worth 1 million, but then someone starts drawing it out, if they're not drawing it out through LPing, wouldn't it just start destroying wouldn't you start being destroyed by slippage? And then still that would be only on one chain, because it wouldn't be like the other chain won't know that chain's doing that. Like if you've got, for instance, here Doge on Pulse, and Doge, if people don't think that they're both worth the same thing on two different chains, if Doge is being destroyed or pumping to the moon, I don't think it's likely the other chain, say for instance Binance Smart Chain, will know that it's pumping to the moon, even though it's just could be the same contract address, I'm not sure, but say it has the same name and it's the same way, it's just wrapped. Hang on, if it's wrapped, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pulse moons. Ooh. So then you got two. One's mooning. Sold to fixed price. But if it's mooning, okay, LP is increasing, price is going up, and then taking some profits. But then the assumption is, though, I think the assumption is there would be a holy actor in that situation, because the person could actually, couldn't the person just destroy the price and be like, fuck this, I'm taking everything out, boom. But then when they take everything out and they go to sell it, the LP is selling to, and they'll be left holding the bag worth what? Then they bridge out and take it to the other chain where it's wrapped, and then hopefully the price is, whatever the LP is over there, and then you've got the same LP factors over there. Someone sells a lot. I know. Yeah, well, yeah, you'd arbor. Yeah, I agree. And then the arb then brings everything into balance, equilibrium. But I still haven't seen that on. That is kind of my thinking on, say, for instance, Hex, or I don't know, whatever pair you're looking at on Ethereum Pulse Chain. I would have thought maybe that could have taken place, and then it would have brought into equilibrium. So you would have had, Hex is worth more on Pulse Chain as it is now. They figure out their arb, it's bought and sold, and just has that what's that? The opposite of a positive and negative, like an attracting force to the equilibrium. Very cool, man. If you can do that on other shit, that sounds pretty cool. Sounds like you know more than me, so I'll leave you to do that. Because yeah, I do wish that would take place when everything moons on. Well, not when, if everything moons on Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX, like you said, it'd be really cool. You spirit weed. All right, cool, very cool. So, Yeah, I wish this took place on in real life with Hex on the multiple chains. You know, it's just like draws everything in. Because then you'd see in that world, in that particular world, you would then see, which I'm not seeing unfortunately, but then you would see potentially, you know, Hex on all of the chains, even the Ethereum proof of work. There's another one, Ethereum Fair. Like if there was liquidity across there, etc., it would have been good to see. Imagine, I don't know, 1 cent Hex across all 4 chains. Um, yeah, I've always wondered, what if someone? What are your thoughts on this Spirit Hex one? What if someone forks post chain? What happens then? Do does everyone then get a copy of the copy or at that particular time and place? And then do you have a fifth? Like, would you have to get blessing to get Hex like to exist on there and Pulse X? And someone copies Pulse X, and then they fork that chain, and then you have like another existence of your infinite certificate of deposits, and then you have more liquidity. Or would it be potentially be a ghost chain? What are your thoughts? But what if it runs all the same, but very close parameters, and so everyone's already got the hardware that the running validators for Ethereum and Pulse chain? What happens then? Is that a viable option, or is that just crazy? Yeah, no, but what if yeah, that's what I thought. What if it was literally because the fees on Pulse chain, so say in 15 years, what happens if the fees on Pulse chain get unbearable, which is, you know, probably still bearable, but someone's like, oh, it's unbearable now, I'm releasing another fork of a fork of a fork. And then everyone, like, hopefully everyone realized what took place with Pulse chain, and then they're like, all right, we're going to copy it. And then we're not copy it, but then we're going to fork the fork. And then you have another copy of everything. I guess that's what people thought was going to take place with the ETH POWs and ETH fairs, but yeah, like you said, ghost chain. It's a shame though, because like if someone did that, or what if the ooh ooh, I didn't know that. I have to check that, but that sounds pretty cool. Because that could, like, yeah, that could be the no need for, you know, copy of copy of copy. Um, that's why I'm thinking Hex on Ethereum may not be. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. Like, I still think Hex on Ethereum lives, but fees are wrecked, right? So therefore, why stake out, say, 5555 on Ethereum? But then I'm like, well, what if Ethereum makes itself cypherpunk again and fixes their shit? I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, it exists in parallel, and then people end up with, you know, two things that are still worth more than the whole, which I think it is now technically. But in a world where more time has passed, T-shares have become more relevant again, make T-shares relevant again. And then we see, you know, potentially higher than current prices on Pulse chain. And then we see the fixing of Ethereum's fuckness, to be nice to their devs. And, yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting world. That's what honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. But I can't, like, I don't have the technical know-how to help them or provide any feedback, like useful feedback. But if we saw, well, we've seen a fork of Ethereum Classic now, and then Ethereum. Now we've seen a fork, an entire state successfully rolled out, functioning with Pulse chain, which is amazing, with cheaper fees, lower fees, and everything. Wouldn't that sort of lead down the path? It's like, hey, Ethereum, fix your shit, and then you get the copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I'm kind of Thanks, David. I kind of, yeah. I can't see Hex on Ethereum absolutely dying, because if it does, there'll be a few left over there, and then say Ethereum fixes their shit, then it comes back to life. But it's funny though, because it's funny, Spirit Hex one, because I'm still curious as to why, in my mind, they haven't arrived at equilibrium. Maybe there's a step I'm missing. Maybe it's to do with the LP pools. I'm not sure. But T-shares remain fairly similar. I haven't looked at LP pools, but maybe that's a factor. 2-to-1 ratio, that's not too bad. Exit on Pulse Chain $1 and Hex on Ethereum 50 cents. If it does how many X's to get to that point, that sounds pretty good, right? But then it's like, why, if the LP pools are there and there's the ability to arb the two, like, why is it set at that rate? Is it just a pure ratio trade? Because then the thing is, my thinking on that is, then the next thing would be, well, if you can bring two, like E-Hex and P-Hex into equilibrium across two chains, figuring out the LP pools, then you would be able to theoretically, create your own copy, such as P die for some reason, PUSD, PUSDT, etc., etc., etc. Perform the same maneuver if there was enough community support behind both chains, I would imagine, and both communities, and then you could bring about the equilibrium potentially. I don't think that would happen easily, though. I don't know. Gas fees. Maybe, man. Fucking maybe, I tell you. Gas fees sucks. Well, they don't suck so bad, but you guys saw with the examples, it's like, let's onboard today. It's like, no matter what, you're getting wrecked by the ETH side. It's just crap. But then that can't explain why, even if, like, what if someone's investing 1,000 to 10,000, an ETH fee, that fee is not as bad, like, percentage wise. The more you invest, the lower the fee becomes. Why wouldn't it be bringing the two prices into equilibrium? Because then you take into account the percentage I'm not sure this is what you're saying. You're probably saying something else, but I'm thinking, if you go along that train of thought, it's like, but then hang on, the ETH fees aren't 50% of the price of EHEX versus PHEX. You know what I mean? I don't know. Oh, yeah. That site. What's that site? It's like, it tells you how much gas you've used. Yeah. That reminds me of way back when there was that thing, Bitcoin, like, cloud mining. And I went back and I was looking and I'm like, hang on. If I kept that small amount of Bitcoin until now, it would have been worth how much? Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice. Etherscan. Oh, that's an easy way. I'll just do that live on stream. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's true. Yeah, you go through, have a look. But yeah, what else? Yeah, like I said, I wish I knew how to bring into parity every single Pulse chain copy out there on Pulse chain with Ethereum chain, because then everyone from the Ethereum side would then see the real world use of Pulse chain more than currently, and then they couldn't ignore it. It'd be like, hang on, you've got the exact same shit over here, like with the NFTs. How can people ignore the copy of the NFTs? It's like, it was worth, even if it's worth 10% of, even though everyone's wrecked right now because of the bear market, but once it hits all-time highs and you've still got your copy on Pulse chain, wouldn't you be like, hey, I've got my, like, whatever NFT over here, 10%. Ether scan, hang on. I need to have a clean ether scan because there might be some weird shit on mine. Ether scan. Hang on. I need to pull up this here. And then I'll go to like a quote unquote secure browser. And then in theory, I've never used it. So it should have no memory of any particular ADI. Alright. Ghost Spirit Hex 1. What am I doing? Oh, hang on. Here. You need a. I'll need a demo ADI though, so that might be a problem. Powered by Ethereum. And why does the Etherscan not include Pulse Chain? Remember, it has every other. We've got so many. We've got blockchains now. Blockchains everywhere, but no Ethereum. It's frustrating, you know. You just drop in the ADI here, yeah? Is that what you're talking about? And then, you know, pull up everything. Could we do it for the Hex contract itself? Can it show how much? Alright, that's a fair point. Alright, where do I get the Hex contract from? Oh my god. I guess I'm gonna go to hex.com. FAQ. Telegram's not. I would have gone to chat room. Where is? Let's have a look. Where is the contract? This one would be it, I would imagine. Oh my god, look at that. Is that it? Pretty sure that's it. Alright, hang on. Alright, let's do this. So, for instance, we have the Hex token, Etherscan version, variant. And then, see, I don't understand why this is so hard for CoinMarketCap to do. Like, anyway. Etherscan, token, Hex, you know. Now, where would, from here, we pull up, for instance, not the contract, but the amount of ETH used for gas. Oh, almost 333 holders, almost 369 holders. It's increasing. Total transfers, we have stake N 3 minutes ago. Very cool. Alright, maybe there's not a way. But yeah. Let's have a look at this. Go under analytics. Alright, roger that. Analytics. Ooh. I don't do this very often. Go under analytics. Time series. Transfer amount. Look at that. That's pretty decent analytics. Big old green candles there. What are they about? We're hiring. Maybe I should learn some blockchain. So we got analytics and then TXN fees. How come I can't see TXN fees? Where are you? Where are you seeing that? TXN fees. Not sure. Okay. It would be good though, you're right. If someone knows how to do this, that would be interesting to see. Because I know how to do it on what the fuck? I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Hang on. Sent the link, bro. Alright. You appear to be friendly, which is good. Let me just check that against here. Alright, cool. I'll pull that up. Dude, where did you fucking find this? Thank you. TXN. The fuck? Alright. Hang on, back to chat. So, for instance, does it have market cap on here? Or has it just got tokens, I'm guessing? Not including like Pulse Chain or whatever else. Ether balance. It was at TXN fees. Oh my god. Dude. Oh. Alright, let's... I'm going to save that link. Thank you. What the fuck? Excuse my language. I'll try not to swear, but okay, let's just do 30. Let's just do 30 USDT to 30 USD to AUD. So in Australian dollars, that's like 44 milli on fees. That's retarded. I don't know, people might find that offensive. That's a lot of that's a lot. That is a lot of economic energy that could have been better used in creating staking ladders. Fuck. It's almost like, isn't it almost like death by 1,000 cuts? Because it's unlikely that, you know, that's one user that's incurred 30 million of fees. But how is this not breaking news? Like, how is the people that are covering Solana's bonk token not pointing out that there is a chain that allows you to use a smart contract for a fraction of the cost of, for example, 30 million currently, 30.5 million adjusted current, right? So average 30 million thereabouts. God, this is frustrating. Like, why are people not covering this? Why am I not covering this? All right, I think every day I'm gonna have to put this on X and send it to everyone on Ethereum and be like, look how much the fees are on this. Do you know how much cheaper you could be using your... See, and that raises another great point, because where's total adjusted current? You know, I believe your numbers. If like on chain, if for instance you can point this out to other people on Ethereum and be like, look, these are the fees that you've paid. You could use this. Yeah. Does it count the sends as well? I guess. Only like the, and does maybe it doesn't. It's the contract, so most likely, yeah. All right. So most likely staking, ending, I guess emergency end staking, good accounting. Those functions. Maybe transferring. So it's probably not gonna, like if you do a swap on a DEX, it's probably not picking that up as, or providing LP. I'm guessing it's not picking that up either. Yeah, all right, that's what I thought. All right, cool, very cool. Sending, ooh, like, okay, so it can pick up sending, or it can't pick up sending. Because I know in Hex, I never use that function. I don't think I use that function. And it's like you can send from one address to another, the Hex. It's supposed to be cheaper. I haven't checked if that function is still on Pulse Chain. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Well, that's a great way of keeping track of everything. So if you send it, it catches it, but then if you actually... Yeah. Wonder if you can find. I'm speechless. Absolutely speechless on that. So we need this. So I guess, well, you probably can't. Could there be a way to reverse engineer this and then point out, had this have taken place on Pulse Chain given current fees, this is how much it would have cost, maybe? Or could you total the amount of ETH? Where did the ETH go? That's where the ETH went. Could you total the amount of ETH, relate that to Pulse Chain and be like, look, here's how much the fees. Yes, thank you. For some reason, like you saw, I couldn't pull it. I was like, huh. I clicked analytics, but maybe it's because it's under contract. I'm not sure. Because like, yeah, I found myself, when you go through and you're going on Etherscan for Hex, the contract, if you enter in your address, I won't do it on chain, like for addresses for obvious reasons. You enter it in, it actually goes back and shows you in a pretty succinct way everything you did with the Hex smart contract. It's called, like, it has like Hex Finance or some shit. It was Hex something. It was pretty interesting. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen it before. I had saved the link somewhere, but yeah, that was very cool. Very useful. And now I'll also save this link, when I get around to it, and keep track on how much ETH is being destroyed, well, being distributed to the validators, I'm guessing. Have you got any other wise words, Spirit Hex One? Because that was mind opening. I need to try and explain this to. Did you know $30 million US has been wasted because fees are so high? Did you know that?
My life has been wasted.
The missus just said, my life has been wasted with you, because I told her 30 All right. All right. I'll close here. Actually, no, it's not. Is it New Year's? Hang on. All right. So it's not New Year's for Japan yet or Texas. For some reason, I have those time frames in. It is New Year's. Hang on. What time is it here? Oh, where is it? I think as for a whole 24 hours, it will be New Year's somewhere. Once it kicks off, if you follow the, flight of the sun, I guess you could call it. Wait, what? Is it already midnight in Melbourne, Sydney? Oh yeah, it is. Happy New Year. Hey. All right, let's look at. Oh my, I can't get over those fees, man. That's. All right, I'm gonna make another stream and like every day point out that if you're on Ethereum, you could have saved X amount. I mean, you could just convert that to Pulse and be like, you'd have to convert though. Oh, you could go total. Like you could just be like, oh, this much Pulse. Happy New Year's, man. From Brisbane. Nice. I need to get a drink or something, but I don't drink. Put some emojis in. Hey. I could sit on stream, but I'm not sitting on stream for 24 hours to like roll in the new year across the world. T minus 1. Fireworks will start going off soon. I could make my own fireworks, but I won't. Like in terms of create loud noises, lol. I'm only kidding, YouTube. Don't kill my stream. Where's the celebration emojis? Like, what's going on? Yeah, recapping. Just forget everything I said. Like, well, actually, don't forget everything I said. We'll leave this highlighted though. But like, cypherpunks, I would say, are still real. And I think to recap, if you're just tuning in, thank you. Again, I'm not sure how many people I'm capturing on X because I actually don't know how to get the comments over from X when you're live streaming. I haven't signed up for Grok because Grok would probably know. Let's have a look. Yeah, alright, cool. There it is. I'll go in. So interesting. See, I wonder if that appears on YouTube. It does not. That's crazy. I went the stream then. I went the stream. I can't believe these fees. That's insane. Cut my hair. Get new shoes. I'll cut my hair and get new shoes as well. You're right. Alright. I shall end this one. Happy New Year's for wherever you are located. Because it is. Is it superstition? What is it? What, Chinese superstition?
Chinese people still.
The same thing applies.
But Chinese to you would be like,
But we're doing it for no reason. Also, I have to go to work tomorrow as well. So, yeah. So, for. How do I explain that? Kind of Chinese New Year's superstition being applied to New Year's Eve logic being applied, but also I gonna try and work tomorrow while everyone's hungover and etc. etc. So I'm gonna go to bed early. Yeah, I think it already is. If you look into the lunar, maybe I don't know. I just wonder how many people in China actually within China are actually like, you know, going to be purchasing crypto without the blessings of the financial institutions. I shall go because I'm getting the death stare from the missus. If I adjust the camera just slightly.
No one wants to listen to you. Just leave them alone. You're hard to just shout. Like, spend the rest of the night with your own family.
All right. Peace out. Oh man. All right, it's been good. Thank you, Spirit Hex One, for those fees. Because yeah, I'll keep that link. Because that's disgusting. Oh my god. All right, I gotta go. I have work tomorrow early ish. Yeah, Madness of Games for everyone. 2024. Oh yeah. I hope. Oh yeah. And when some stakes come ending, you know, it's gonna be a hard decision if Ether fixes their fees, ETH fixes their fees, or over the Pulse chain. I'm more inclined to think ETH. You know, maybe they fix their shit. Maybe I just run out 555s, multiple chains. Because yeah, I think that's just what a G would do. All right, peace.